We're back. Hello, everyone. Mm-mm. This is not trending topics. Why does it say trending topics? Did I forget to change the title? I did, didn't I? Let me change it. Hold on, Instagram. And we're back. It's showing you back over here, but and we're back. Anyway, I think that's funny when I do that. And I think I'm pretty funny. But anyway, so we're back. And things. Like I said, Miss Ian, welcome back to Dina Marie Live. This is our third segment. My favorite is called Each One Teach One. And we basically explore personal growth and improvement. Um, and that I represent you as a small business, your page, your social medias, all the things on your different sites and whatnot. Okay. But anyway, I just love, talking to you about things. And today's episode, I really wanted to bring to the forefront of us drawing a high flying disc. Okay. Y'all hear me? Being on a high flying disc means that you do people disrupt your day, your life, your energy, because everybody's talking about that. So let's talk about that. Okay. Um, as it's been famously discussed by Abraham Hicks. Have you guys ever heard of Abraham Hicks? Well, I'm not going to tell you about Abraham Hicks if you don't know about Abraham Hicks, but you should probably look it up. And in looking it up, it will help you to understand the the concept of Abraham Hicks. But basically, Abraham Hicks has made it a saying of being on your high flying dick. And basically, affects our mental state and how it should, okay, how it should influence your mindset, and also the debates that might surround the mindset. But just to begin, let's just explore what Abraham Hicks refers to as high mindedness. So basically, in the teachings of Abraham Hicks, the high flying disc represents a state of elevated vibrational energy and an alignment with whatever you desire. Okay, so it's basically a metaphorical, sorry, morphical, metaphorical place. So, but when you're there, you feel joy, you feel happiness, you feel all these wonderful things that rain is um, exuding. And because it's exuding that, it just automatically gives you this momentum of happiness and everything. So it's metaphorical, yes, but at the same time, it releases some types of things in your brain and in your different neurons to promote happiness in general of your being, so that once you have this momentum of happiness, everything you do and ask for and desire will come to you, basically. And it can only come to you in this positive state. And if you doubt it, it's relative. But we tap into this creative power sometimes and it attracts positive experiences into our life, like I said. It's fascinating because show out of the high flying disc. And then when you hear me saying I'm on my high flying disc is love, happiness, and success. That's where I'm staying. And I constantly remind myself if I feel down, So some people may not get into this and you might have something else you use, fine. It's an influence of my mental state and my overall mindset. That's what I believe. So, so if we're aware of the high flying disc concept, it's going to allow us to actively shift our focus towards positive thoughts and emotions. Remember, I talked about emotions on the last episode that that you have are what guide your decision. So if you're in a good emotional state, guess what? Positive stuff comes from it. But if you're in a bad emotional state, something pisses you off and you make a quick emotional decision, you could lose everything. But we're encouraged, we are in a good positive state just to cultivate gratitude, practices of self-love. Do you love yourself? If you love yourself, there's things that you will accept and things that you won't accept. There are people in your life that you will accept and won't accept. There are things in your life that you will accept and won't accept. Drugs, drink, smoking cigarettes, anything that's going to affect your health and mental state is not good for you. Okay? Engage bring joy. Laying on my pillow. When I get in the bed at night after I've worked all day long, love getting massage. I love when you don't have to start bringing things to you that make you feel good so you understand what the feeling of feeling good and being on a high flying disc means. Okay. If you equate things make you feel good in scenarios that you to feel good about, you'll understand what it is and eventually it will become second nature. But when if we like intentionally choose to, align our thoughts with our desires and elevate our vibration, you know, it will definitely attract more of what we want. And so that's what we're talking about today. I don't know how you guys about it. So many in our and, and what those people um going to church is okay. Nobody saying and in you church and anything do you have to maintain it and you have to be in a place of uh, calm. Sometimes people can take you out of these elements, and it is very important, to maintain, this level of peace. And if you don't, then and you're coming around you. Um, but it's funny, how I was listening to this um, segment that said with Abraham Ham Hicks um, about being under a false assumption that you grasp on to what's inside of you mentally and that it could be a car, let's say, for instance. The homes, the women, the men, whatever it is, money, whatever it is. But if it doesn't it's infinity, it may well be one of those things that have been had a big splash in my face that you might want to see, but somehow it's not the splash before. So you just kind of have to put things in perspective and understand that when you are in a high flying on a high flying disc, these things are what come to you in a positive way. I'm looking back at myself on video from that's streaming onto YouTube and it's freezing sometimes. But big events in our life, they're noteworthy of um of they're noteworthy. Just period. They're like the fabric of your life. experience, and it's fabric of your life's experiences that equal the way that you're going to chronically feel about what's going on in your life. And when I talk about being on a high flying disc, it's like the life of a puppy. Because if a puppy is just happy and joyous, oh, look at that. And it's nothing about like, I thought I want to be this or I thought I want to be that. No, it's how I want it to go, how I want it to be in life. You know, you don't care about that stuff, that seems reveals itself in ways that you never imagined or seen before. You just deal with it. You know what I'm saying? You just deal with it. Now, if in perfect timing, if we everything was done in perfect timing, and if that state of being like saying is being on your high flying disc and you're there and you're like, woo, being that you are chronologically maintaining this feeling, then the feeling of joy that the puppy is feeling is more general than the human like feeling of joy. But they are kind of like equal in the same way. They're just different in the way that they manifest. Okay. And there's nothing wrong with staying elated, in a state like I don't care. I'm just going with the flow, the way I wind down, blowing it off. Except that you can't stay there because if you stay in that like hum drum, you're never going to get to where you want to go. Now, it's naturally and perfectly human that as humans, we're going to have our days. Like I had a situation recently, and it's somebody that I really, really care about. And he basically got mad because of something that I did that really someone else may not get mad about. And then I guess maybe this was a situation that was happening with more than one person, and everybody was asking the same question. And upon asking the same question, he just got pissed off about it. And unfortunately, when he got pissed off about it, he kind of like blew up on me. And when he blew up on me, he's still ignoring me right now. And that hurts. That hurts my feelings because it hurt me most because he blew me off when I basically did something that I normally would do to anyone. And, basically, it wasn't even a situation where I was like trying to push and force. It was based on some information that he had given me, and he told me one thing, and then when I basically delivered something to him, he then tried to say he told me something else when he had never in fact told me that. But instead of him wanting to talk about it, he is as if it's going to go away. And so then that makes me feel like it makes me hurt. It hurts me really, really bad because there's never a time, and everybody that has known me for years on end know Dina Marie Webster. They know me. I'm loving, I'm kind, and I support you no matter what it takes. Saying in those situations when people have hurt me, you know, it takes a while sometimes to recover. But because I'm talking to you about my high flying disc, I will tell you that each day, in order for me to stay on the high flying disc, I have to meditate. And in the morning, sometimes I'll get up and I'm very tired, or I'm always rushing because, well, I'm not late for things, but I always feel anxious, like I have to hurry up, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. So sometimes I put my meditation off, but I typically take every day, no matter what, and I can put myself back into a zone of where I was when I was meditating, so that anything around me that's affecting me in a negative, nasty, mean way, I can just like go into my space. Vortex is what Abraham Hicks calls it. So I go into my vortex. So when you think of a vortex of an enclosed space that no one can penetrate. So I go into my vortex and I go back to my high flying disc and I just elevate within my mind. Now, for some of you, like I said, this sounds crazy. And I get that because you're not ready to hear that. You're not receiving it. It's not that I'm gaslighting you crazy. No, I'm just sharing with you that it's real, legitimately, and you have to be prepared to deal with that because even in life, as a babe, from the time you were an infant until now, did you not remind little teaching steps, whether it was touching a hot stove, ouch, or grabbing water and splash on you? Whatever the scenario was, those were stepping stones to help you learn not to do this or to do this. And that's what this is. When you Put yourself in your vortex because protecting yourself from that moment, energy, whatever. It's like going to dinner. Everybody wants to talk about somebody. I excuse myself and I say, you know what? I'll be right back. I'm going to the bathroom. Go to the bathroom. I come back, new topic. They start talking about somebody. I'm like, oh, I'll be right back. I got to get something from the bar because I'm excusing myself. I'm trying to stay within my vortex, stay within a realm that keeps me happy. And maybe you call it something else. You know what I'm saying? I'm just sharing with you how being on a high line and what that means when you are around people, when you're not around people, and when even loved ones. Like I, to be honest, my feelings kind of hurt because everybody that I know, I mean, I know a lot of people, they um know I've shared with them that I'm doing a podcast. Nobody's ever listened to it, but I don't care because I have to keep going. I have to keep being proactive and tenacious and forging forward because I'll get to know you that kind of represent. And I love that because in that process, those are the people that I get to know. They become new friends, whether they're followers or whatever. And I get to talk to them and communicate with them and get to know them on a level. So, there are certain things that hurt us. And so when I think about those things again, I I forge myself and plop myself on my high flying disc and I make sure that I am feeling good about the woman that I am and the things that I do because every person that I love and care about, friends, family, I represent them no matter what. I communicate with them no matter what. I talk to them no matter what. I lost my mom a couple years ago, and me and my sister. My dad passed before her, and it took a really long time just to realize that these people have left my life, and I don't have them anymore. And in that happening, you know, I I do have cousins and an aunt, and uncles that are still living, and I talk to them periodically, some more than others, but just a matter of timing for me because I'm always grinding. But um, I do reach out to them, and I have a friend that I talk to, and she and I have been friends for so long. We went through so many things after I became a single mom, and I just had one boy, and she had four and she's gone through a lot because she has four personalities that she had to deal with and I've only had one, but she's helped me grow. And it's so funny because no matter what, you always see people talk about you and or say things because they don't know what you're doing, so they talk about you, and then back then I didn't know how to stay on my high flying disc. I was depressed severely, and I'm talking about even when my mom was living in, my son was younger or whatever, I was depressed all the time, mainly because it was like, again, I give so much love, I give so much, you know, uh, my caring and all these are things that to other people, and there's nothing wrong with that. However, now what's different about me and in flying on my high flying is that I know that it's my business, not someone else's business. And what someone else is doing is not my business. You know, I will fly on my disc and the person or people that need to be with me will elevate to where I'm at. I don't have to go down. I'm going to stay where I'm at and they're going to elevate to where I'm at. And if they don't elevate to where then they're not someone that I need in my sphere. You know what I'm saying? And so sometimes learning this, um, when you're not ready to be on your high flying disc and stay in a place where other people aren't going to join you and you notice that you're sad or emotional in a negative way, then that means it doesn't feel good to you, so you should detach your emotion. And the only way to detach your emotions is that when you meditate and you and the jar, swirling it, swirl. That's getting all the sand grimy and mixed up. So when you swirl other people in your mental, they're all mixed up and intertwined. But when they settle, which is your meditation, what happens? The sand drops to the bottom and you have water at the top. That's clarity. And so that's what's happening when you meditate, and you have to clear it out in order to start over. And every time you clear it out and start over, you become being able to separate yourself from those who are not part of what you're doing. And that's when we talk about peace and being on a high flying disc. You have to feel that, you know, you are placing yourself in a state where you're overwhelmed. You're not doing things, seems like the, perfect atmosphere. Like, everything is cool, nothing's wrong. And let's say you're really hungry and eating something else like the perfect atmosphere. Okay. So when you've been on a low disc and you have to put an effort for it to do something, when you first get on the high disc, you feel lightheaded. I mean, like literally, you feel lightheaded. And it feels like uh, light and, feels just like simple as the way you want to be forever. You feel high, basically. You feel high, you feel airy in your head. But whatever you discover is light is like light is the way you want things to be forever. You want everything to be light. You just be like, oh my God, I want this to be like this forever. I want to feel like this forever. I don't ever want this feeling to go away. But the simple part can become more complex and then therefore more satisfying. So it's not all about choosing, the simplicity of, like we talked about, the puppy's happiness, because that's simple, or the more complex of humans' happiness, because we're more complex than that puppy, right? So if you get on the high find disc, like we're talking about, then what inside of your vortex or your spectrum is to you, because you're on a high flying excited, you're high vibrations, you're vibrational, you're excited, you're loving life, you're dealing with things, as they come and they're bouncing off of you like Superman, Wonder Woman. Ping. So when that happens, we know one thing's for sure is that you won't be uh you if you didn't do this, you wouldn't be very happy, you know, just running around chasing whatever, squirrel like. So it's important that you find a way to meet yourself in a space and time in which no one you will not penetrate. And in this, you teach people how to treat you. You could think a better thought, build your emotional grid, um, and just get into your vortex, that space that protects you, and the things that you want are in there. And just be intentional about it, you know? So I get it if you're not ready to hear that, but if you are ready to hear that, guys, you know, protect your energy, protect it, because people will hurt you, people will make you feel bad, mad, and angry, but it's not their business how you feel, and it's not your business that they feel that way. And if you make it your business to stay on the high flying disc, and like I said, I named mine. My high flying disc is hashtag LHS, love, happiness, and success. And those are the three things that are on my high flying disc, and they encompass everything. They encompass everything that I want, everything that I need, and everything that I know is coming to me. And I know that everything is working out for me. I know it. And it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks because that is not my business. So I thank you guys. You guys are awesome. You're so wonderful. And awesome, this concept allows you to actively shift your focus towards positive thoughts as well as emotions. It also is going to encourage us to cultivate gratitude, practice self love, as we talked about earlier, and engage in activities that bring us joy. But most importantly, when we intentionally choose thoughts that align with our desires, elevation, and attract more of what we want in our life. So make sure are constantly elevating yourself to this place, because that's the only way that you can get there, is to maintain this happiness. But I like to say, I thank you so much for joining us. I thank you so much for joining us. And I look forward to, sorry guys. Thank you much for joining us. And I look forward to uh, you um, to coming back in just a moment. Sometimes, I get a little squirrel with the stuff, but um, I am thankful that you joined us, and I'm very happy that you allowed me to go a little bit more into detail about things that seem super natural. But I hope that again it helps you to peace, because sometimes that's all we have is our inner self to really guide us and strengthen us and make sure that we're happy. Because people can, and I've said before, they can try and calibrate you their vibration, and their vibration is not always a good place to be. So protect yourself, mind your business. That's what I call it. And I'll say the last segment of Ripple City. So come back. I'll be right back. Thanks, God. Mwah. Hello, and thank you guys for joining me on Each One Teach One. This segment is favorite. It's my period, and I welcome any of you to join me on the show and to plug your site, your social media, or your niche. Period. Today, we talked about that high flying disc that I have named hashtag LHS, love, happiness, and success.